asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyed Makshabhirya Jatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvagam Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspatirdadhato. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we will be discussing the Mundaka Upanishad in this retreat, and this is a very, very wonderful text, and it is from the Atharva Ved. So you know the background, everything. We have 4 Vedas, Rik, Sama, Yajur and Atharva Ved, and all these Upanishadic texts are scattered in the Vedas. But because they deal with the knowledge portion, the philosophical portion, and not just with sacrificial mantras or sacrificial rites, so we have these very special philosophical mantras or discussions on deep philosophy, existential questions. And that is what we call the Upanishads. So Upanishads constitute the sar, essence of the Vedas. If you study the Upanishads, it is equivalent to getting the gist of the Vedas. Because it's the essential portion, it's the knowledge portion. And you will see they are asking very, very beautiful questions and very deep answers, existential questions and answers to them. See, the meaning of the word existential is the bare truths of existence, human life, human consciousness, about the nature of life around us, the nature of this world. These are existential questions. Who am I? Why does my mind function the way it does? What is the nature of my soul, consciousness? What is the nature of my mind? What is the nature of this reality spread out before me? These are existential questions. They are not psychological questions, please see. We must distinguish between the two. Psychological question means what is happening in my mind? Why am I thinking like this? Why are my feelings like this? These are psychological questions. But here the entire discussion is existential. So the requirement for this kind of a discussion to become real is you must empty mind. If I have too many psychological things going, I will not grasp Upanishad. This is the fundamental need of the Upanishad. See, if you go traditionally, they will say sadhan chatushta is required for study of Upanishad. Vivek, Vairagya, Shat Sampati, Mumukshutvam. You may be knowing these are all important disciplines, philosophical discernment, discrimination, and then Vairagya, some amount of detachment from the world, and all good qualities, ability to concentrate, sense control, all this is required to come to this knowledge. Essential thing is mind must be prepared. And mumukshutvam should be there, which means I have a very high existential goal. I want liberation of my mind, not just more and more experience. This is the precondition, because this world is a world of experience, you should know. When we come into this world and get our education and go into our career, all we are asking for is better and better experience of life. Better experiences should come into our life. This is all we are asking for. Now, the reach of the Upanishads goes far beyond this. I am not just wanting more and more experience, I am wanting the very crux of truth that there is to this human life. I am wanting to know the nature of myself, self-knowledge. That is the purpose of the Upanishads. So then the ways of our mind should be little different. That is the essential precondition for the Upanishads. as it is important to have good memory, it is also important to empty memory. Life is nothing but a chase after good memories. You want good experiences because you want good memories. Even in old age, I should be able to think of them. But there is something called empty memory. There is one very beautiful Bhagavad Gita verse, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvai ahameva vedyo vedanta kridve davideva chaham. Krishna is telling Arjun, I am the knower of the Vedas and the purpose of the Vedant, the purpose of the Upanishads. And I dwell in the hearts of all beings as the self, as pure consciousness. And from there, I impel them towards Vidya, knowledge, towards Smriti, memory, and towards Apohanam. Apohanam means forgetfulness also. Now, don't underestimate what this forgetfulness means here. It is important to forget what is not required. See, to come to the Upanishad, I told you empty mind, empty memory is required. You must be able to put aside what does not build your life, what drags the mind down, what is not required, the negativities, all kinds of memories in our minds, all kinds of experiences. See, everything has impressions, on our mind, and they are stocked as sanskars, vrittis and sanskars. So a little you must be able to forget them. The really wise are not those who have had only the best experiences, but who have forgotten the not so good experiences of life. And the really stupid are those who will cling to even the small negative experience which can come into a human life, and they make it big. They make it big, and that victim mode, it's called, victimization, catastrophizing. These are all cognitive distortions. If we don't know how to handle mind and think correctly, our mind will take us for a ride. And this will be, esoteric knowledge only for yogis, some special type of people only can do this. See, we have all these ideas in our culture, but you should understand, special type of people are not required for this. Special minds are required. A mind which can forget. A mind which can remove any negativity from itself. Which does not pay attention to the wrong things of life. Which is bursting with energy, positive energy. And which is focused. That type of mind is required. So this we have to personally take care of before we begin the Upanishad. That is why you see Bhagavad Gita, all these texts, they are actually telling us what is required for this level of knowledge. So when you are in this retreat for the next 1 week, you will forget anything negative that might have happened. No talking about it, no discussing it, no going into your phone to look at it. Just remove it. You will see you are capable of it. In fact, we waste enormous psychic energy when we are, when you apply your mind to negativity, your pran shakti is getting blocked. So mind will never achieve clarity. So Upanishad will become esoteric knowledge. This is the scheme. So take care of your mind here. Just forget what is not required. And put your attention only on here, it's all devotion, scriptural study, meditation. Only this much. Next 7 days. Then it's a real retreat. You will see the power of the place. Because here we are in nature. Nature itself gives all that is required if we only remain still. And if the mind is overworked, working along all kinds of, then that's why Lord Krishna is saying, Apohanam cha, I also give forgetfulness. Learn to utilize it. Shake off what is not required, retain only what is required, then at once the Upanishad will appear very real. So with this mindset, we have to go into Upanishads. That is why you see the initial peace chant is saying, Bhadram karnebi shrunuyama deva, Bhadram pashyed makshabhirya jatra. which means let my ears and eyes and everything see only what is auspicious. May my mind not go towards what is inauspicious. And may whatever I do be pleasing to the gods. See, our life energy, only if it is, used in the service of the divine, it has meaning. Otherwise, it has any meaning? It will, the vital energy within us, pranic energy, which is nothing but Shakti. It is the individual, you can say, the personal aspect of Shakti, the divine Shakti manifesting in this world. In our own system, she manifests as Pran. If that is not working properly, you are not going to, you will not be able to worship the Divine Mother. So keep this Pran Shakti well regulated, without blocks, flowing freely, happily in your system. You'll see mind will remain clear, pure, concentrated. And unessentials are forgotten. Bas, that is the real positive human life. The positive human mind will automatically go into the knowledge of self. Because before you ask, what is this world about? What is God about? First question which should come is, who am I? What am I about? What is the nature of this I sense within me? If this much has come, already you are fit for Upanishads. Once somebody asked, of course, Thakur used to say, this is the only goal of human life. Sri Ramakrishna says this, you remember? Once somebody asked Raman Maharshi, am I fit for this knowledge? He said, as long as you say I, you are fit. When you say I, the import of the I is the self. So if you are using the word I, Ami Achi, I am, who am I, anything you use I with, you couple I with, that means self-consciousness is there. Now you penetrate into what is consciousness. That's all they are saying. So you see, the Upanishadic literature is very striking to thinking minds, because obviously it is telling us the truth about our own being. You are not merely a physical or psychological entity. This is the great truth which our scriptures give us. You are an existential entity. The very nature of your being is pure existence and pure consciousness. And mind and all this is a superimposition on your true being. Whether we realize it or not, this is the truth of our existence. See, there are many things we don't realize, isn't it? For a long time. Although these books are telling us, so many teachers are telling us, we don't realize, because unless it is first-person experience, you will not grasp it fully. So until that happens, at least this must bring about that level of, clarity of thinking. My true being has to do with awareness, has to do with consciousness. The psychological drama in my mind is not me. The physical consciousness is not me. See, always you feel your body and your mind as belonging to you, not as you. Yes. We always feel the body belongs to me, my thoughts are mine. My thoughts don't feel like me, isn't it? This itself proves that somewhere you are apart from them. In your deepest source of pure being, you are quite distanced from your psychological drama and the physical self. So this is why they are repeatedly going to tell us, here there are two types of Vidyas, This is a very interesting part of Mundaka Upanishad, what we are going to discuss today. There are two types of knowledge. One is knowledge of what you are not, and one is knowledge of what you are. So we'll come to that through the mantras. Just go to the first mantra. They are giving us the line of teachers who gave us this knowledge. Go to the first mantra of Mundaka Upanishad. Om Brahma Devanam Prathamam Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jeshta Putraya Praha Om, Brahma, the creator of the universe and the protector of the world, was the first among the gods to manifest himself. To his eldest son Atharva, he imparted that knowledge of Brahman that is the basis of all knowledge. So, Brahma, the creator of the world, of the universe and its protector, was the first among the gods to manifest himself. See, the word manifestation comes mainly in Sanatan Dharma only. It is not creation, it is all manifestation. It's a projection. So, Brahma was manifested first, and from him everything got manifested. And to his eldest son Atharva, he imparted Brahma Vidya. And with this knowledge, he understood it is the basis and support of every other knowledge. So this point also we have to understand. Brahma Vidya, Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Very important. What does it mean? Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of Brahman, the knowledge of this cosmic consciousness which shines in my own heart as myself, as the individual consciousness, you can say, as the Jivatman, as the Atman, not as the Jivatman. It manifests as the Jivatman through the body and mind. Jivatman is used for when consciousness is manifested through a body-mind. Then it is called Jivatman. But its very nature is, it is pure consciousness. It is the Atman shining in our hearts, and this itself is the Supreme Lord. They are not two different things. So this is what he is saying. That is why this Brahma Vidya is so important. It is knowledge of the self and hence knowledge of the universal consciousness that is called God or Brahman. In the Vedanta, the word used is Brahman. And the very meaning of Brahman is Brihatvat Brahman, vast, unlimited, and it is not boundless consciousness. See, don't think you can think about it. You can't think about it because your mind cannot grasp the infinite. Your mind is working through that consciousness, but it cannot create a vritti of that consciousness. Now suppose I tell you, think of pure awareness. Come on, think and see pure awareness, what it would mean. You actually can't wrap your mind around it. But through sadhana, through meditation, through this Vedanta Charcha, you can get some sense of it. In the stillness of nature, you can feel it. In the depths of meditation, you can intuit it. But you simply can't think about it just like that. The best experiences of life are not available for thought. Have you seen? See, like this consciousness, pure love. If I tell you, describe the love of your mother, can you describe perfectly to me? You cannot. It goes beyond words. These are called ineffable experiences, which means words cannot describe them. Language is limited. The taste of ghee, if I ask you, that's an ineffable experience. You know the taste, but you can't express it. Like the deepest experiences of life, happiness, pure love, pure knowledge, awareness, you can't describe. Because language is limited. But your mind knows it's such a precious thing, it's such an important thing. So the whole point here is Brahma Vidya, Sarva Vidya Pratishtham, which means this knowledge of Brahman which cannot be described in words. You can't wrap your mind around it. Usually what you can think, you can describe through speech. But I can't do either of this in this case. But this is the support and basis of every other Vidya. Because without consciousness, do you think you can study anything? Your mind cannot work without consciousness. And all of your sciences are mental, so to speak. Because actually knowledge means it is a fluctuation, a modification of your mind. Isn't it? That's how you get knowledge. What is thought? Thought is nothing but a modification of your mind, a vritti. So all of the sciences of this world are based on vritti jnana. the knowledge born of mind. But this only goes beyond mind. It is that light by which mind itself is illumined and becomes a conscious mind through which you gain all kinds of knowledge. So Brahma Vidya, that is why, is supreme, transcendental, goes beyond mind. It is not, you can't put it under psychological sciences. You cannot even put it under, if there's anything called existential science, because it goes beyond words. It's a felt experience of pure awareness, not content of mind like thought, emotion, not all that. So it is something only through sadhana you can come to it. There's no other way. So retreat means where we intensify sadhana. Utilize this space like that and you'll see there is magic in this air. If there is real sadhana, then something you will get out of this. So Brahma Vidya, Sarva Vidya Pratishtham, you should remember this. Apply it in every place where you can apply it. You know, if you are teachers, educators, give this idea to your students that there is a knowledge beyond this, you know, the dual framework of knowledge. There is a knowledge beyond mind. Then you see, go to the next mantra. Atharvaneyam pravadeta brahma atharvatam purovachangire brahma vidyam sabharadvajaya satyavahaya praha bharadvajo angirase paravaram. The knowledge of Brahman that Brahma imparted to Atharva, Atharva transmitted that knowledge to Angiras in days of yore. He, that is Angiras, passed it on to Satyavaha of the line of Bharadwaj. Bharadwaj, so his son becomes Bharadwaj. He of the line of Bharadwaj handed down to Angiras this knowledge that had been received in succession from the higher to the lower ones. So there's a Vyasa Parampara in our spiritual tradition, isn't it? It is knowledge was always transmitted by word of mouth. This is how the Vedas were transmitted and preserved. The teacher teaches it to his student and a lineage is born and it is held in memory. In those days there were no books and no hard disk to retain all this. It was all preserved in memory. So you have all these names also in India, isn't it? Dvivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi. They held the Vedas in their memories from times immemorial, 4,000, 5,000 years back. And this is how it was preserved. Later on, much later, it was codified, it was put into books and it was brought forth like this. Today you can buy it for 100 rupees. But the whole point is this is how this knowledge got transmitted from father to son, from teacher to disciple, and it was preserved. So that entire line has been mentioned here. How this Upanishad came about, this knowledge of Brahman that Brahma imparted to Atharva, he gave it to Angiras, and Angiras passed it on to Satyavaha, who was of the line of Bharadwaj, and he of the line of Bharadwaj handed it down to Angiras again, this knowledge. So this could be another Angiras. You see, in Vyas Parampara, what happens is, the same lineage, they are all called Vyasas. So don't think there is only one Vyas. Every one of that lineage was called a Vyas, and all our rishis have such lineages. So this is how this knowledge was imparted or transmitted. And then what happened? Shaunako havai mahashalom girasam Vidhivad upasasanna prapacha kasminno bhagavo vijnate sarvamidam vijnatam bhavatiti. Shaunaka, who was is a son of Shunaka. He was a great householder. Remember, all these rishis were householders. A big responsibility on householders. Preservation and transmission of Vedantic knowledge. Mainly it is the responsibility of householders. You pick up the ideas from here, you transmit it powerfully in your own place in your own homes, in your own institutions. Otherwise, you can't hold on to this Vidya. So you see, Shaunaka, approached Angiras duly and asked, "O adorable sir, kasminno bhagavo vijnate sarvamidam vijnatam bhavati." Tell me that ultimate truth, knowing which everything here can be known. Is there some such thing, knowing which I can know everything else? Now see, this is a very this is what is called an existential question. It's a very pertinent inquiry. What is he trying to say? There is one unchanging eternal substratum of this entire world of manifestation, knowing which you can know everything that this manifested world is made up of. And they will give examples in Vedanta, like if you know clay, you know pot, you know ladle, you know everything that clay can be made up of. The clay you can make into so many things. You can know all those things if you know the clay. And so also if you know water, you know bubble, you know wave, you know foam, you know everything. Any form the water takes, you know it. So also there is one eternal substance. If you know that, you can't call it, you can't give it a name actually. You can't use words. But if you know that, you fairly know the nature of this world of manifestation. So he's asking, what is that one unchanging eternal substratum of manifestation? See, it's a very pertinent, deep question. Now the answer to this, it starts with what we thought of discussing. Para and Apara Vidyas. So you go to the fourth mantra. See, this is a long Upanishad. I have to go a little fast. Tasmai sahovacha dve vidye veditavye iti hasma yad brahma vido vadanti parachaiva paracha. To him, he said, so Shaunaka is being told, there are two kinds of knowledge to be acquired, the higher and the lower. Higher is called Paravidya, lower is called Aparavidya. This is what, as tradition runs, the knowers of the import of the Vedas say. Now we will pause here to study, to see what these two types of knowledge they are talking of. Because you know, we are only used to Aparavidya. We never paid attention to Paravidya. What is the characteristic of Aparavidya? It is mediated by mind and speech. It is born of the vrittis of your mind. It is born of a thought process, isn't it? Whether you are studying medicine or engineering or the pure sciences, whatever you are studying, they are thought processes. So heavily mediated by a thought process, by mind and speech. It is transmitted by speech. Entire educational process is Shabda Praman, transmitted by speech. Right? And it includes what? It includes all the sciences. I am talking of Apara Vidya. It includes all the various sciences. Okay, we have taxonomized those sciences, as it were. That which deals with plants is botany, that which deals with animals, zoology. This, so many we have classified. So knowledge is basically classification and categorization and finding hidden links between categories, and transmitted entirely by speech and formulated by thought. This is what you are calling Aparavidya. And this includes not only these sciences, but according to the text, also all of the scriptures, including the Vedas, including the Upanishads. See, this is the only book which will tell you we also belong to Aparavidya. Every religion will have one supreme book, and they feel the tenets of that are supreme, unquestionable. They are the final word of God. Vedas are very unique. They will say any word, the words of the Vedas also are Apara Vidya. They belong to the class of Apara because they may point out to the ultimate, but they are not yet the ultimate truth. They are pointers. This is their role. And what is the Paravidya then? Tad aksharam adhigamyate iti, which will give you direct insight into the nature of Brahman or pure consciousness, which you are. That alone is Paravidya. It will not fall into the realm of words. So you see, the Vedas themselves declare we are Apara Vidya. All sciences are Apara Vidya. Anything mediated by mind is Apara. Inferior form of knowledge. Not that it is non-knowledge or not required. Very much required to understand this world, yes. But there is this higher knowledge which cannot be encapsulated in words, which cannot be mediated through mind. That is the Paravidya. So this classification is very important for our students. See, in all these IIT courses which take place, no, the main reason why the students are coming to the class, okay, they are too busy. Why they are coming to the class is only because there is a curiosity, a kind of deep interest in knowing Paravidya. Can I experience it? So when you actually follow the sadhana, you will see experience itself is a limited word. You can only experience an object. So you don't experience it, you finally become it. In fact, you are it and you have forgotten it. That is the truth. The knowledge becomes more of the nature of recollection of who I truly am than of getting something, of reaching somewhere. So your very language will change. As sadhana proceeds, some real level of meditation happens, we will gradually understand what Paravidya means. It's more about acknowledging our unchanging true nature which is ever present rather than trying to get something from outside. Can the Atman be ever an object of your perception or meditation? Tell me. It is the self through which all of your meditation and perception is happening. So the method to go to that is different. So the method becomes inquiry and meditation. See, these are the standard methods of Vedanta for the knowledge of Paravidya. Aparavidya is relatively easy. It is objective, objective knowledge. So our senses are already turned outward. They only see objects. And so the mind also follows them. So objective knowledge is relatively easier. But Paravidya is not that easy. Because we have conveniently forgotten our real nature. We never give. You see, these kind of questions we don't make. We don't ask existential questions. We're so busy in the world that we don't ask existential questions. So Paravidya is all about finding the truth about bare existence. Even before the mind and thought process kick in, what is the nature of my being? That is why I told you sadhana should go hand in hand with this knowledge. Otherwise, I'll have lots of ideas, very good ideas. I keep my mind at a particular level. But actually getting this, it will happen only when you have sadhan bal. If you have sadhan bal, even just one inquiry will be enough. Then directly you get it. Yes. Sri Ramakrishna's life, if you see, 12 years of intense tapasya. Have you read his life? The unimaginable tapasya and the vision of the Divine Mother, and even after that, the kind of tapasya we cannot imagine. So when Avatar only has to do this, what to speak of us? He came to show us what is required. You read Swamiji's life, Vivekananda's life, right from the beginning. What kind of spirit of sadhana is there? So without this, it is not possible, na? Truth is always ever present, but I cannot realize it. I am not seeing it. Realization is a very nice word. Realization means something was already there, I was not seeing it, now I saw it. So I realized. I didn't create. So realization means developing the insight towards already existing truth. And this is what sadhana is about. When your pran shakti is functioning properly, mind will, be vibrant with energy and acute with attention, concentration, and intelligence. It will sparkle with intelligence. Then Brahma Vidya is very easy. Otherwise, it's a esoteric science, something they are speaking of. All this conclusions we'll make. So now you see how the Upanishad itself defines Para and Apara Vidya. Go to the next mantra. Tatra Apara Rigvedo Yajurveda Samavedo Atharva Vedaha Shiksha Kalpo Vyakaranam Niruktam Chando Jyotishamiti Atha Para Yayatadaksharam Adhigamyate. Of these, the lower, which is Apara Vidya, comprises the Rigved, Yajurved, Samaved, Atharva Ved, the science of pronunciation, etc., the code of rituals, grammar, etymology, meter, and astrology. Then there is the higher knowledge, Paravidya, by which is attained that imperishable. Yaya tad aksharam adhigamyate. So you see all the sciences which were available at that time, the 4 Vedas, then the science of pronunciation, rituals, grammar, etymology, meter, astrology, whatever level of mathematics and geography, natural sciences, whatever they studied, all of that falls under Apara. Poetry and literature, grammar, etymology, everything is Apara. And Para is only that which gives you insight into the imperishable. That knowledge by which is attained the imperishable is Paravidya. So this distinction has to be made. Otherwise, our PhDs will bloat up and feel now they know everything. Everything there is to know. Postdoc in California University, MIT, and they are very happy. Everything that is to be known, I have known, as if Paravidya is over. So in order to prevent this kind of arrogance, the more you know, it will only be revealed to your mind how little we know. See, this is the glory of knowledge. It liberates the mind. You get your PhD in a particular subject, and if that person is really clear-headed, you ask him, how much do you know about your subject? He'll say, so far we have discovered very little in this subject. We don't know anything actually. This is a great state to experience. I don't know anything. Once there's this story of Isaac Newton. He was walking on a beach, and his students were around him, and they were saying, you have discovered great things. My God, you have revolutionized the world. Newtonian physics is such a huge thing. You have done this, you have done that. And he looked at them and he picked up a handful of sand from the beach. And he said, look, I have discovered this much. And what remains to be known is this. The more you know, the sign of that you at least know something is that you realize how little we know. Because there's something called limits of knowledge. Have you studied that? Limits of knowledge are the limits of your mind. And the limits of your mind are the limits of your logic. You can't go beyond that. Gödel's theorem, you must have heard of it. Mathematically, he proved this. We can know only within definite parameters, and you can't cross beyond that. These are the limits of knowledge. So how much ever you know, you are only within those limits. That is why we need a foothold outside the mind and in the true self for Paravidya, for real knowledge, unchanging knowledge, the truth about being, life. That is why a yogic mind is required. See, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is beautifully mentioned, the yogi goes far beyond Shabda Brahman. which means what they mean to say is just having intellectual ideas, vritti gnan. No, that's not enough. The real yogi mind will go beyond that. Then only this transcendental Vidya is possible. The yogi transcends Shabda Brahman. Whatever can be grasped by speech is limited, very limited. And it is far better to invest in knowledge than invest in other things, isn't it? So once you understand the nature of Apara Vidya, gradually we should move into Para Vidya. So if we understand the limits of the mind, you will understand the limits of Apara Vidya. And then obviously you move into Para Vidya. But if we are gloating over our Apara status only, we won't go anywhere. See, this is the whole point. Shaijanena Thakur used to say, no, the humble will reach him. Humility is the truth about us. It's not an idea we take up or a bhav which we manufacture. It is the truth about human existence. Humility is the nature of our mind because it is limited. So remain humble and Paravidya will open up for you. This is the whole point. In the realm of knowledge, you should remember, the more your mind knows, that knowledge alone will liberate the mind, which gives it real humility. The more it knows, the more it understands, I know very little. That mind alone will get liberated. And if we use knowledge to build arrogance and identity, that's a very small way of using knowledge. It is insult of knowledge, Vidya. Isn't it? So take care of this. This is the huge trap in the modern world.
Yes.
We can use something which helps liberate the mind to bind the mind. Sa Vidya ya vimuktaye. This is the glory of Vidya in the Indian tradition, Indian culture. That is knowledge which liberates the mind, which does not bind the mind further. So we have beautiful stories in the Upanishadic tradition only. Shvetaketu's story, you might have heard. How he became very arrogant with Apara Vidya, and then the father had to teach him Para Vidya to remove him from that state of mind. So the stories are there on Vivek Vani. You can watch them. Story of Shvetaketu, if you give, you will get the story. So the whole point is this inner, inclination towards higher knowledge and Paravidya should happen for Brahma Vidya to come into our lives. Otherwise, we'll be satisfied with Apara. So now you see the definition of Paravidya, which this Upanishad will give you. What is Paravidya? Yattad adrishyam agrahyam agotram avarnam achakshushrotram tadapanipadam nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tadavyayam yadbhutayonim paripashyanti dhiraha. By the higher knowledge, Paravidya, the wise realize everywhere that which cannot be perceived and grasped, which is without source, features, eyes and ears, which has neither hands nor feet, which is eternal, multiform, all-pervasive, extremely subtle and undiminishing, and which is the source of all. Yatad adrishyam, cannot be seen. Agrahyam, cannot be grasped. Agotram, gotra nahi hai uska. Avarnam, varna bhi nahi hai. Achakshushrotram, it doesn't have eyes and ears either. Tada panipadam, doesn't have hands and feet. Yet it is nityam, it is eternal. Always present. Vibhum, all pervasive. Vibhu means present everywhere, omnipresent. Sarvagatam, yes, existing everywhere. Susukshmam, very, very subtle. That's why subtle you can say, because gross mind will not grasp it. Tad avyayam, unchanging. Yad bhuta yonim, it is the womb of all beings. And paripashyanti dhira. It is the cause of all causes and the dhira sees it. Who's the dhira? One who has dhi. Yes. Who has real, yes. He has attained deep inner quietude and this sparkling intelligence. He will grasp it through this higher intelligence. Nobody else can. So, paripashyanti. He is able to, you see, it's a very special word. Sees beyond what can be seen. And the dhira alone will get it. So, this is how Paravidya is got. Don't think Paravidya will come just like that, like any other knowledge. Retreat houses are not philosophy departments. Paravidya comes only with sadhana. I am very insistent upon this. See, from this center, now we have that Himalaya Vedanta Academy. Many courses in universities will go out. Many things will happen. But this center is not to be reduced into a philosophy department. We must be very clear about that. Philosophy is easy. It is after all vritti jnana. You must be a subtle thinker and you will be a good philosopher. But for this Brahma Vidya, you require sadhana bal, yog bal, without which it will not come into first person experience. You may have a mental grasp over it. Intellectual ideas are there, but no first person experience. What is the point of that? Thakur used to say, no, aam khete escho, aam khe ja. You have come to eat mangoes, not to know everything about the mango and the mango tree. What is the point of counting the number of branches and twigs and leaves? Thakur used to say. You must eat the mango and be happy. So first person experience is Brahma Vidya. It is not a mere philosophy. Don't reduce it to that. That is why. Sadhana is required. Yog bal is required. The essential conditions have to be satisfied. And automatically this knowledge, see, those who had this knowledge didn't even know the Upanishads, many times. They didn't know what was in the text. Have you heard of this? Swamiji, once when he was a young man and yearning for higher realization, he goes to Thakur. You know how his state of mind was. He says, let me forget all that I have known so that I know what is really required to be known. I want to forget everything that I have known. When Raman Maharshi had his realization, later on he says, at that time I didn't even know what the terms Brahman and Atman meant. He only had the experience, the anubhuti. He had not heard the word Brahman and Atman. Later on, when the scriptures were recited in front of him, he correlated, oh, they are talking about my experience. He says this. That is why I am saying, first person experience is the essential thing. It doesn't matter if you don't know Apara Vidya. Scholarship is not the point. Here the standards only are different. Here it is all spiritual practice, sadhana. If you attain clarity of mind, you will understand awareness better than all the scriptures can tell you. Because it is not a concept. Brahman is not another concept like any other concept. You can't conceptualize it. You can only be it. It is knowing by being. It is knowledge by recognition. Recognition means recognition in a different way. That is Paravidya. So at least the feel of it, you should get it here. That's why it's the science of sciences, I'm telling you. We call Vedant as the science of consciousness. And Yoga is the technology of consciousness. Yoga is the means by which you enter into the first person experience of Vedanta. Yes? Are you getting the point? That is why Vivekananda gave us all these yogas. Everyday life, you implement them, you will enter into this knowledge automatically. So take care of this. These are few things which very practical it is. Now we go into the seventh mantra. We have just few minutes. Yathor, going to the seventh mantra. Yathor nanabhi srijate grihnate cha yatha prithivyam oshadhaya sambhavanti yatha sata purushat keshalomani tatha aksharat sambhavati ha vishvam. See, what is that akshara which you will know by Paravidya? It is the cause of all causes. It is the supreme cause of this universe, of this manifestation. It is the primordial cause. And even as yathona nabhi srijate grihnate cha, which means as the, a spider, it spins the spider web from its own body. Isn't it? So also Brahman has manifested this world from itself. You can't say himself or herself. From itself, it has manifested. Yatha prithivyam oshadhaya sambhavanti. Even as vegetation grows on this earth, it springs right from the earth, from the seed. Seed holds the potency for the entire tree, like that. And yatha sata purushat keshalomani, as hair grows on the human body, so also tatha aksharat sambhavati ha vishvam. So also this entire creation has sprung from Brahman. See, in Vedanta, they recognize two types of causes for everything manifested. Everything is an effect. The cause is Brahman. And what is the nature of that cause? They call it upadana karana and nimitta karana. You might have heard the words. Upadana karana means the material cause of something. So the material cause of the spider web is the body of the spider only. And the sputum of the spider is becoming spider web. And the efficient cause of the spider web is the spider. Efficient cause means the intelligent cause. Who created the spider web? The spider. So in this example, the upadana karana and nimitta karana are the same. So also they are telling us Brahman alone manifests as this material world and is the creator of it. And see, this can be easily understood. Our mind is capable of creation. See, in your dream, for example, when you are dreaming, who created the dream? And the dream objects? You only. You created the entire scheme of your dream and the dream objects and identified with them. And when you get up, we feel as if, how did all that happen? But you only did it. Your subconscious did it. So upadana and nimitta karana can be the same. That's what they are saying. In this universe, the cause is only one, Brahman. He is the cause of all of this manifestation, of the manifestation along the physical realm, across the mental realm, across the realm of ideas, and across the existential realm. He is the cause, the primordial cause of everything. So Brahman is actually described as the cause of causes. Cause of causes. Even as one gold can be fashioned into so many ornaments. And if you are looking at the ornament and still saying, where is gold? So also, you are looking at creation and asking, where is Brahman? This is what they are telling us. He is already present in his creation. This is nothing but a manifestation of Brahman. He manifests in you also as the self, as pure consciousness. And consciousness alone is appearing as all of this. It's a world of appearance. It's a world of appearance according to Advaita Vedanta. One being manifesting as all of this. Just like how in your dream world you manifest so many objects, you only do it, but then you fail to recognize it. So we are doing the same thing. The world is a manifestation of the self. And we are saying, I want to find the self. So the whole point they are trying to make is, only Brahman is. When you are not identified with this cause of causes, You will think you are a jiva, present in a body and mind with a limited identity, and then you want to experience the world as apart from you, as objective to you, and then you experience it and then get dazed by it, and then you get even depressed by it. Then you want to search for Brahma Vidya. But the actual fact is, Brahman alone is manifesting as the one who's asking the questions, existential questions, as the one who thinks he's deluded, as the one who feels he should get Brahma Vidya, or the one who's ignorant. Brahman alone is manifesting as this entire play. See, Thakur in his states of samadhi used to experience this. Tini shob hoyechen. Kotoba Thakur eta bolchen. In Kathamrit. Do you read the Kathamrit every day? Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Our devotees should read it every day. It will transform your mind completely in a few years' time. If you read it every day, at least 10 minutes. So there, Sri Ramakrishna's highest experience of samadhi, when he comes down from that state, so many times in the day he is going into that state. When he comes down, first thing he is saying is, he alone has become everything. God alone is everything. Tini shob hoyechen. A jagat, jeev, jagat, prani, shob, tini. He used to give example of wax garden. You remember? Yes. Momer pata, momer fool. Everything is the wax only. It's like a garden made of wax. Everything is made of wax only. What is that wax? Brahman. It appears as tree, leaves, fruit. Thakur is actually saying this. Men, women, interactions. But it's all only Brahman. This is what they are saying here. Actually, you can understand Upanishad only through their lives. Yes, because it goes above our head. Because we are using thought process to try to grasp Brahman, no? Methodology is wrong. So only through their lives, see, this is what is called Apta Vakya Praman in Vedanta, which means through their words you can get an inkling of the reality. That's why I said read the gospel every day. Pancham Ved it is called. It's the essence of all the Vedas. Because Thakur's experiences transcended what is written in the scriptures. So with this, we will conclude today's class, and tomorrow we take up the next mantras. Afternoon we'll have Q&A. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.